I have a dream. Your peace is acknowledging your faults and returning and repenting back into your power. Not trying to march, not going to your enemy for aid, not going to the one who the Lord said He's going to set over you to destroy you, begging them to be friendly to what you know. You're supposed to seek the Lord's face early, man. Right, good. That's why when we read in the book of Hosea, they shall seek me early in their affliction. See, Jake, they've been trying to seek everything else, been going to the Baptist church, Christianity, Muslim, Islam, Black Panther, gang banging. They've been seeking a whole bunch of shit, but except what they're supposed to do. You know, like there's a saying in the world that say, you tried the rest, now try the best. Right. You know what I mean? And this is the only thing. This is the only thing, and only the elect is obviously going to get that knowledge and wisdom. But you people, our people are going to realize that they've been trying a whole bunch of BS this whole time, which has kept leading them to their destruction. And when they had the opportunity to come to what is the actual comforter, the actual thing to aid them to have salvation, they denied that. They rejected that, and that's why the Lord said, "What? Then shall they call upon me, but I will not hear them." And they shall seek me, but they shall not find me.
This is limitation. This is Lamentation chapter 3, starting from verse 38. Out of the mouth of the Most High proceeding not good and evil. Wherefore does a living man complain, a man for the punishment of his sins? Let us search our ways and try our ways and turn again to the Lord.
Hey, that's what Jake do. They be complaining about all that shit that's happening to them, but they don't ever want to actually change why this shit is happening to them.
Even not even go deep to the Most High, even small shit. You know, like listen, if you want people to start taking you more serious, why don't you pull your pants up on your ass? I mean, why don't you stop dressing like a nigga? Jake don't forget. Not saying it's insignificant, but like let's put the Most High on the back burner. Jake don't want to change small shit. Like yo, why don't you stop using so much vocabulary? I mean, why don't you stop cursing 4 or 5 times, so-called cursing every sentence? Why don't you dress a little more presentable? You know what I'm saying? Why don't you stop getting agitated and aggravated at every time somebody disagree with you? Jake don't want to change shit like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, how would I say? If you can't understand earthly things, how can you understand heavenly things?
Yeah.
Jake can't even get right on the carnal level. You know, they don't even want to try to get right on the carnal level. How you expect the Jake to get right on the spiritual level? And that's why you got a lot of people talking about we need to gather the whole nation. The whole nation ain't got that mindset, man. The whole nation ain't even. They know that the scripture says my people are foolish. You know, they don't even got the small things to even better their own lives personally. They wake and bake, you know what I mean? Or wake up and get drunk the whole day. Scripture tells you woe to him that ariseth early and get drunk. But that's all Jake is wanted to do, man. Like that scripture you pulled out last week, that folly is joy to them, man.
Yeah, that is destitute.
That's destitute of wisdom. And that's Esau. So like, and that Esau made Jake destitute of wisdom, because they going after the ways of the carnal, after the ways of the lust of the flesh. That's what this world, that's what Babylon, that's what Esau's age only appeals to. It appeals to your flesh. So anything that you can do carnally that's gonna feel good, Esau gonna put it out there, and Jake, the majority of Jake, the wicked Jake, gonna eat it up, man.
I got a piece of too. Like you brought out the word entertainment. Like entertainment of your mind. They taming your mind through bullshit, which is distracting you from what's really going on.
And I got a precept too, because that actually goes into the attainment of what these devils set up to have our people stay in the dark. Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 1. And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against the shepherds of Israel. Prophesy and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, unto the shepherds, woe be to the shepherds of Israel that do feed themselves, should not the shepherds feed the flock? And that's what brothers been talking about. That these fake ass pastors out here, they doing the will of Esau. They're not doing the will of Yahweh. Because if they was, they would tell you that you're the Israelites in the first place, and they would tell you why you're going through what you're going through. And they wouldn't tell you that everything is going to be all right eventually. Everything's not going to be all right eventually in America. That's the whole thing. That's why the Lord said, woe into those shepherds, because you're leading the people back into the, like Brother said, you're leading them back to the shadow of death, man. You're not giving them to the green pasture. You're giving them to the shadow of death. And verse 2, verse 3. You eat the fat and you clothe you with the wool. You kill them that are fed, but you feed not the flock. The disease have you not strengthened, neither have you healed that which is sick. And how are people sick? They don't have the knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. That's why the Lord said He set up the apostles last. But those gonna be the men that's actually giving the healing to people, because it's not about like healing that you sick like medically, but like sick like you're blind, you don't know what's going on, and you don't know who you are. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's about. You know, a little more. Neither have you bound up that which is broken, and our people are broken. Neither have ye brought again that which was driven away, neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them. So basically with the lies, man. Because that's the cruel lies, man. That's how our people are ruled. They're ruled by these pork chop pastors, these other religions, these other heathen gods, and that's what our people are into, and all the bullshit folly of America that has to offer, that America has to offer, man. Everything about appealing their flesh, everything's about just doing what you want to do when in Rome type shit. That's it.
Right. He says, this is Luke chapter 3, starting from verse 9. Hear, Israel, the commandments of life, and give ear to understand wisdom. How has it happened, Israel, that thou art in thy enemy's land, that thou art waxen old in a strange country, that thou art defiled with the dead, that thou art counted with them that go down to the grave? Thou hast forsaken the fountain of wisdom, for if thou hast walked in the way of God, thou shouldest have dwelled in peace forever. Learn where wisdom is, where strength is, where is understanding, that thou mayest know also where is length of days and life. So that's pretty much it. Like, this is not this is basically what the Christian pastors or any religious clergy is teaching the people. Okay, it's about you giving ear to wisdom and actually accepting the way of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and changing your ways. And like the elder said, it's not in, it's not something heavy that you have to, get into, or some mystery that you have to discern or figure out, but it's little things in the scriptures. Okay, it's little things where you can get into, where and it can help you, boost your spirit and actually, free your, I don't know how to put it better, with the little things in the scripture that gives you salvation. The milk, actually, right, the milk. So it's actually simple stuff, man. And that's pretty much all that happens.
The Lord doesn't ask much.
Yeah.
You make me to lie down in green pastures. You lead me beside the still waters. You restore up my soul.
Yeah, because it's truth, it restores you. It recreates you, recreates you, And that's what and on the physical level, that's what the teachers do. The bringers, the kale and all that, Hey, the next holy day is the Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah. And that's what we dedicate the temple, but spiritually, you what? You rededicate your physical temple and try to get try to get a flux, a fast, because our physical temple is polluted through a lot of bullshit. So around the time of Hanukkah, even though we physically in the history, we dedicated a physical temple, our bodies is our temple, and we should get periodically, if brothers don't do it around that time of the year, doing some type of cleaning or some type of flush, and we dedicate their physical temple back to the Most High by trying to take some type of greens and trying to live a little healthy.
Fast, even like scientifically they say when you fast, I really say like 2 or 3 days where your body gets reset. Like all your, like they say, your hormones are balanced out, and like your blood is flowing correctly. You know what I mean? The glucose levels, I believe, something like that. Like some bunch of blood that happens when you fast.
Your organs get a chance to rest, because when you're eating, your organs and drinking, your organs is constantly working. What makes them work like you put food in it. But if you're not putting food or water in it and you're fasting, your organs are actually taking a break. You know what I mean? So if your organs like, okay, you know what I mean? That's like you drive your car for 3 weeks straight. You won't want to let it, even if it's a new car, you want to let it like chill or cool off or take some type of breather, a little break period to get some type of rest in. So that's what happens with your organs, When you they're on a fast. They're not fully. I mean, you up moving around, so they working, but it's not like they working like as far as breaking down food and transferring it into this hormone and taking oxygen from here and taking it there. Your organs not doing all of that. You're chilling, so they get a chance to actually take a break. They recuperate.
He restored my soul. He led me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake.
Hey man, you hardly see bees, so you don't even want to kill them.
Yeah,
Like I
right.
said, you might be like the last one.
Last of a dying breed.
He looks sick a little bit, you know?
Verse 4. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff will comfort me.
Yeah, the rod is what the word, and the staff is a tool used to guide the sheep. You know what I mean? So that and what's used to guide us is what the word, the comfort. You know what I mean? So it said what? Thy rod and thy staff comfort me, which is what? The word of the Lord. The Holy Spirit, man. That's what give us comfort in. You know, a lot of scriptures, brothers who drop in, faith boosters, and so on, man. So that actually comforts you. You got that Ezekiel, come back to that Ezekiel 37. Give him verse 3.
I want to listen to it. I go to it.
Yeah, I had it.
No, God just did it. Where you was at, verse 3?
Yeah.
Verse?
Okay, Ezekiel 37, verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord Yahweh, thou knowest. Again he said unto me, prophesy unto these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, ye hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live.
Right, and when that breath came, ultimately was now. Because our people stood up on their feet during like the 60s and 70s against the system, but they didn't have the truth in it. You know, we don't.
And thus saith the Lord Yahweh, unto these bones, behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. Verse 6. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Yeah, and that's what you get that song on the hip bone connected to the thigh bone. And because that original song, when it first come on, it said Ezekiel connect those bones. Not the latest one, the original one from the 50s. And it said, and when it first come on, it said Ezekiel connect those bones. Then the song come on, the head bone connected to the neck bone. But that whole song is really based off of Israel. People, a lot of them old spiritual hymns be tied into like the truth. You know, swing low, shoot chariot, shit be coming around a mountain. All these, songs be having a lot of truth history, like towards it. But those are awakening up of the bones, and that's what's happening right now. You know.
Verse 7 of Ezekiel 37. So I prophesied, and as I was commanded, and as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone.
And that's like the waking up. You know what I'm saying? Because when you shake, it was a rumbling. And when you get something shaking, it causes what? Friction. And once you cause that, like if you shake your hands together, that's called, your hands will get hot. Or you rub two sticks together and shake it, and eventually what starts smoking. And once the smoke comes, you start blowing it and fanning it, and that's when you get that fire, called the fire. So that shaking is what? That actually waking up, and the actual friction that the Lord is causing amongst Jake. Yeah, stirring up their pure minds. It's a major shaking going on right now. See, he ain't just wake them up in front of, he said it wasn't shaking. Matter of fact, somebody probably could blue letter that and see what type of edification of that come out on the blue letter.
Some simpleton, like, they'll try to twist it, saying, like, oh, I'm trying to wake up some bones, like a skeleton, like a bunch of skeletons came to life, and everybody, you know what I mean? But really, it's about like the spirit coming on the people that was dead, being us, the Israelites, you know what I'm saying? That was dead in the spirit.
Getting shook up. He said, well, I will sift the house of Israel. You know?
Yes.
As corn is sifted in the sea. So, hey, even a lot of Jakes now, like as I go, be working and shit, going through these different boroughs, a lot of these jakes becoming like more brotherly in a sense. I mean, they kind of a little more, cause hey, Esau been killing niggas, so niggas like, hey man, shit, we all we got. So Jake seemed like they were like sticking together. They still had them niggerish ways, but they just seemed like they
Simmering
got more
down.
of they simmering
Yeah,
down.
I know what you
I
mean.
mean, it's not like yo nigga this and that, or it's like I seen it. I actually seen Jake like pacing and calming down on certain situations, and I'm like, yo, through all what's going on and what's happening to our people, Jake coming to their mind like, listen, we got to stop cheating each other so fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
So this the Hebrew word for shaking is ra'ash, which says quaking, rattling, shaking, earthquake, quaking, trembling, shaking, quivering. Go to Strong's definition. It says vibration, bounding, uproar, commotion, confused noise, fierceness, quaking, rattling, rushing, shaking. And that thing about the vibration, that's heavy right there.
Yeah.
Because that vibration of the truth is going throughout the four corners. See, that's when the Yahweh Shai said that this gospel shall be preached throughout the four corners of the earth, and then shall the end come. Well, you had Christianity been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. Islam has been preached throughout the four corners of the earth. But this, as Apostle Paul said, he set up the apostles last, right? The Heavenly Father set up the apostles last. This has now been preached throughout the four corners of the earth, and it's a vibration. You got people that don't really even know much about Israel, but they say, well, we the Jews, or we the chosen people. They might not know breakdowns and things of that nature, but there's awakening, going back to what this whole chapter is talking about. And that vibration of Israel is everywhere, to the point where people will walk by you and know, like, oh, y'all Israelites? Like, it's already known. You know what I mean? People don't really say, oh, y'all Muslim. Like, you might get a simple nigga here and there, but they say that a lot, you know what I mean? But now it's like, well, yo, y'all Israelites, yeah, I know about that. Yeah, I know about that. Yeah, we the Israelites, so that vibration is going out. And that vibration is really what the spirit is. It's the spirit, as the Lord told Ezekiel, prophesying to the wind.
That's the only way they would know is if the prophets is out there.
Yep.
Like, before the YouTube, brothers out here on the streets preaching, you know what I'm saying?
And they said amongst like Negroes, this would be like bigger than Islam in like the next couple of years.
They got quick.
Yeah, not Islam globally, but Islam amongst blacks.
That's all that matters.
But he said this would be just like the fastest growing religion amongst minorities, because a lot of people know that church shit is off.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the youth, they know that like that church shit been dragged through the mud so much, through these different comedians and so on, and just
the scandals
just
in
the
the church.
scandals
Just
and all that.
happening, like, yeah.
People, only thing that's really left in the church is like homos, old women,
Stuck in their
single
ways,
women that's stuck in their ways. Other than that, once that generation die off, that's it. And you constantly got Jake attacking the churches, pulling members out. You got Jakes that believe in his truth, and the Lord got spirits on them to go into churches to convince and to snatch members up out of it.
Hey.
So they losing people like at a phenomenal rate.
My mom told me, she's been in church for 30 plus years, and she said that she's not getting fed. They're not getting any. It's always the same thing about this year is your year, or the new car, or the new house, and so on and so forth. And she was just like, she wants to actually have the Bible open and broken down scriptures. Like, she wants to be able to understand the in-depth scriptures that is being talked about. Because what do churches do? What do pastors do when they sermon? They read God so loved the world, or they'll read Psalms 23, and they'll close the book, and they'll be like 5 pages of their own thoughts. You know what I mean?
Or
there's
they'll
no
take
precept
a
upon
story
precept.
and give a moral lesson from it.
Yeah.
That's their whole sermon. They'll read universal scriptures. If Jesus didn't do that, and they'll crack jokes. A lot of them crack a lot of jokes, because what humor does, is it deguards somebody. Saying somebody was simple as hell, you come around like, look at that brother, he got an egghead, and brothers start laughing. Humor breaks people's guard. Yeah, it deflects. So when it's actually a war tactic. If you could use humor that'll like, and people start laughing, it'll put people off guard where you can attack them or catch them from like a blind spot. That's why like a lot of serious dudes, they don't like people that clown or that joke too much, because at times if you real militant or militant enough, you'd be like, yo, this dude trying to come around and crack jokes to get us to lighten up. You gotta watch that dude. You know what I'm saying? Because humor is used as like the brother said, a deflector, man. You know?
Oh, I saw a meme that said, funny. It was a chick, right? She was like, you gotta watch out for guys that are funny. You know, like they're dangerous because you'll laugh, and next thing you know, your clothes are off. Basically saying they use comedy to make you like them and let your guard down, and next thing you know, they're already up in that.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a good way to get the as far as deception and get the girl is through comedy, because you make jokes and get her. You know, hey, you be like, hey, let me take you around the corner and hit it from the back. And if she be like, what? And you could be like, nah, I'm just joking.
Hey,
you know, or you could be like,
what you gonna say?
unless your pussy stink though. And you know what I'm saying? And they'd be like, ah! Oh, you know what I'm saying? But if she be like, and she be like, what? And you just go with, you know.
It's like Nelly in that song. He said, "I got a friend with a pole in the basement." She said, "What?" He said, "I'm just kidding, like Jason. He's like, unless you're gonna do it."
Hey, Chris Tucker, Money Talks. He was like, "Let me borrow $1 million." Remember, with the wife and shit, the Italian mob thing. Let me borrow $1 million. Nah, I'm just. That's you gonna do it.
That's the thing. And women say that. Women say that the two things that they look for in a man is a very strong sense of humor, and you know I forget the other thing, but I know a sense of humor. They say if you get a woman to laugh, you know what I mean, you in it, you have to battle. Exactly. You know what I mean? So
and this a quick article, I'll never forget it. It's I think it possibly a broad book. This out over a year ago. I'm gonna bring it back. This is from the New York Times. It says a quiet exodus while black worshipers are leaving white evangelical churches.
oh, I got a testimony to that.
Fort Worth, one second, brother. Paramount Pruitt wrote the names of 12 churches on a sheet of paper, tore the paper into 12 strips and dropped it into the Ziploc bag. It was Sunday morning, and the time was to pick which church to attend. This time of the week, 2 years earlier, there would have been no question. Miss Pruitt, 46, would have been getting ready for her regular Sunday afternoon worship service at the formerly grocery store overhaul into a state-of-the-art 760-seat sanctuary. In the darkened hallway, it would have been hard to tell she was one of the few black people in the room. She would have listened to the soaring anthems of the praise bands. She would have watched on 3 giant screens a sermon that over the course of a weekend would reach one of the largest congregations in the country.
And they doing a lot of gimmicks churches.
See,
now.
y'all brothers can check it out yourself.
I know.
But it's type long, but you can check it out yourself. But the point is how that a lot of people is leaving the churches now. Most of them not going to Israel, but they know, like, listen, I'm done with this shit. Y'all over there, I ain't getting with that neither. But this shit, enough is enough. So a lot of people just like not, because after a while, it's just like everybody know they rip people off. Everybody know they're not telling the truth. And every sermon is either some universal scripture, or they would take a story like King David, David and Goliath.
You gotta kill the Goliath in your life.
Yeah. See, there's a Goliath somewhere. Huh? Do you see where I'm going with this? Because David took the rock. See, it wasn't the rock, and Jesus. Who else was the rock? We're standing on the rock, because the rock is sound.
You get the organ.
He signaled the piano dude.
Nah, they literally legit. They fire organ players if they not on beat with the pastor. Like if the organ player not like, yo, if you're not hitting it when he hitting it, then you're like, yo, you're not good. They'll take him in the back to talk to him like, yo, you gotta be ready to go. When I'm here, you gotta be there with me because you gotta get the people going.
Dramatic.
Yeah.
He got to, and it's not. I seen a pastor actually signal him. He signaled him. But it was on some quick shit. He signaled him to, like, he switched it up to the music. he was like, because it goes from like a sermon, then at the end of the sermon, they go into the music.
Bringing
And
that.
like, but it can't be like broken up. That shit gotta
flow.
flow.
Yeah.
So he was like throwing, he was throwing signals like 3, 2. No, but it was fast though, and that dude, you know, they Jake, boom, 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 how, Benji. Then it calmed down, Benji.
And that's when they bring that collection.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
While the spirit's still flowing, everybody who got $100, who got $100, who was blessed today, who got $100 today was truly blessed. That's and that's sorcery, man. That's exactly what that shit is. That's legit witchcraft that be going on in them churches, man.
And that's why I said that go to them because it said they feed themselves and not the sheep.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing when you go to these shows. Whatever shows. When you go to these churches, they're giving you entertainment, and then you're paying them for it. So it's like you going to like their concert or something because the shit's run like an hour or two. You know what I'm saying? And you go in there, you're hearing a bunch of bullshit, shit that's not gonna apply to your life, and then you're paying for it.
And
Because
some of them do like 3 sermons.
yeah,
Like, they
it's
do
going in
a
one.
concert.
Just like a concert.
Yeah.
And they'll have the what do you call the concert? The people that come out before the main event?
Opening act.
The open act. So they have the choir sing. You know, they might have some praise dancers. And then the pastor, the pastor's coming out, he go in the pulpit, everybody rise up and shit.
Guest speaker.
Guest
pastor.
speaker. Bring out, man, hey, man. And we can attest, majority of brothers, we grew up in church, man. All that BS Christianity, man.
God.
Over 10 years.
This is the only thing that actually gave us the wisdom and knowledge, man. I ain't never had a time where I've said, yo, man, that was just some real edifying meat that I got, man. You know? But when brothers do videos, when brothers come out here, you gonna see the sheep say, "Oh, thank you so much, the water, for the edifying, for the knowledge, man." And that's what the Lord, and that's the Spirit of the Lord, because the Scriptures tell you that the Most High is a God of knowledge.
That's right.
If you're not getting knowledge, what the hell? What are you going for? So like the brother wants to say something.
You know, like the churches, the churches, you notice there's a lot of women because they're the weaker vessel. They're the ones that control, manipulate, and so forth. And I was working with this pastor when before I got laid off, and he used to be a pastor or whatever. And he said that he would have to, he would have what they call it, where they counsel the couples and stuff like that. There would be times where the women would have to talk to the pastor, and if the husband's not around, he could be working with others, so she'll go into his office. And then they'll talk, but he said he had to make sure he had to leave that door open, and the conversation was recorded, because they can say, "Oh, he tried to touch me, this, that, and that," because she's vulnerable. She's coming. "Oh, my husband, he ain't making much money, or his ride don't get up no more. He's not satisfying me." And then you sit there listening to all this, and then you trying to give us some soothing words, whatever, but you got to be careful what you say, because then it's gonna be like, oh, you know what I mean?
That's
all anyway.
That's all because
We all said the same thing.
That's what I'm thinking, like, yo.
They tell you you can't marry another man, or you can't date nobody unless he's a Christian. Because now that allows them to get 2 people to pay them. You know what I'm saying? Listen, if you're a man, the Lord set up a man to be leaders. You are the woman's spiritual leader. You know what I'm saying? That's why men had to grow a certain extent. They had to grow in like that. Because when you take on a woman, it ain't no boyfriend shit. You approach a woman, you looking to have a wife and the kids. You trying to man, it was no boyfriend shit like this society was. Listen, you trying to tell at my daughter, nigga, you trying to be a father then.
Right.
Right, what you do for a living? That's how Jake was coming, like, yo, what you do for a living? You got assets, you got some type capital, where you work at? You know what I'm saying? What you know? You believe in the Most High? You could guide her? When your kids start to grow up, what you gonna teach her to teach my grandkids? Oh, you don't know nothing, nigga? Get the fuck out of here. Don't let me see you again. I'm gonna have my son tighten your ass up. You know what I'm saying? And that's how Jake was coming, like with their daughters. It was, listen, if you approached a woman, you was taking on fatherhood. You was taking on, like, it wasn't no like, yo, I'm just trying to holler at you. Or Jake used that term, I want to get to know you. But we know the word no means sex in the scriptures. You know what I'm saying? But Jake using now, not knowing what they saying, like, yo, shorty, I'm trying to get to know you a little better. But really just saying I want to smash, but it's responsibility that comes with that, you know?
That's part of breaking up other family.
I got a quick precept to what the brother has said. It's 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 6. It says, I'm gonna start at the top. It's all good. It says, "This know also that in the last days, that in the last days perilous times shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of the Most High, having a form of godliness but denying the power thereof. From such turn away. For of this sort are they which creep into houses and lead captive silly women laden with sin, led away with diverse lusts."
That's everything in one.
Yeah.
That's this whole world. This whole world.
Shit that ends with
Yeah,
these
churches
churches,
definitely,
man.
yeah.
Silly women led away. Because listen, man, you supposed to lead your woman. No other man, I don't care no other type way. Your woman going to a church giving away your money to this other man. I don't care who you think he is. Your woman shouldn't be paying another man y'all money.
They get
That's
into
all.
arguments. They be like, "Oh, Pastor needs me." You know, Pastor needs me.
Yeah.
But like, you over here
Praise
cooking.
dancing.
You over here cooking for him, but you ain't cook for your own husband.
Yeah, that's crazy. And they get dressed up. They wear all that shit and get dressed fly. They dress all fly and nice for what? Pastor. But you're right, they don't do that at home. Then also, she could pay $5,000 in tithes in a year, but if you ask her for some money, you less of a man.
Yeah.
But listen, you the man, if somebody broke in the house, who gonna go downstairs and check who it is? If a serial killer broke in, who gonna stand up and die for you? If a man pinch your ass, who gonna go and push that man and check him out? Listen, I'm the man you dealing with that's risking everything dealing with you. When you get sick, your pastor not going to heal you. He probably don't even come check on you. He might say some, put up a prayer for Sister So-and-so. She's sick, and continue on what he's doing. Listen, I'm putting my whole life on the line, my resources, everything. I'm sleeping with you every night. I'm the man that took you in as my wife. I'm the man that'll die for you. But if I ask you for money, I'm less of a man. But you could give this motherfucker that's telling you lies $5,000 a year. But if I say, listen, I need $1,000 to invest in this to better the family, I'm a scumbag. And that's the double standard of that shit. That shit make me mad, man.
And it should, man, because this stuff is cool.
God, if I may say, there was actually an incident that happened in the church where this woman, she was in a choir, right? And she doesn't come to choir practice a lot. And the pastor was telling her, look, man, you got to stay for practice even after church. And she was saying, nah, after church, my husband gets home, he works overnight, he comes home from work, and he needs food, he likes soup. And I need to make it and prepare when he gets home, he can eat and sleep. And then this pastor made a whole sermon about her, right, about how, you know, we're supposed to love the Lord first and all of that, you know, invest your time in the church and all that. Basically telling the woman she's a wicked person for doing that. That's why, like the brother's saying, there are no men in the church. The only men in the church you see are the clergies, the pastors, and the ushers and the instrumentalists. And then the people, the men in the congregation that are working for the building are the ones that marry the women, okay, boyfriend, husbands, because they like the woman and the woman dragged them to church. That's all it is.
You got chicks that divorce.
Yeah.
And the pastor remarried her to another man in the same church. 3 years ago, you married her, she got divorced, and now you're doing another marriage to her with another man.
Yeah, and also what this brother said, because you said she taking care of the husband, right? How you gonna say that she wicked for doing that when that's what the Lord said to do? The woman's supposed to tend to her husband.
1 Timothy 5, verse 14. I will, therefore, that the younger women marry, bear children, guide the house, give none occasion to the adversary to speak reproachfully. For some are already turned aside after saying.
Pastor.
Yep.
That's the
Said
adversary
what? They
move.
learn
Yeah.
anything. Let them ask their husbands
Exactly.
at home.
So a man is supposed to be out learning. Actually, back then we learned it from our fathers, because that's how the Lord set it up. The fathers learned a lot from their fathers, and they taught their sons and children.
And that's why it was important for a man to pave his own way as a man before he seek a woman. You know what I'm saying? You had to get, hey, before Jacob got with Rachel, what, he worked 7 to 14 years. He had capital, he had bread. He was able to provide a place for her to stay and do this and do that. You know what I'm saying? He had to know shit to teach her that she's not going to be going to church. She going to take on your God. You got to teach her about your God. So men ain't had time to be like bullshit and doing nothing. You got to grow up to be a man, and you got to grow up to lead, and you got to have shit upstairs, and you got to have some type of capital or some type of investment, whether either passed down or things you saved up to how you gonna hold down your family. All this fucking folly and bullshit ain't what it is.
You want to go back to Ezekiel?
If I'm gonna say real quick, that's also important as to why you as a man got to be rooted, because Rachel, she wasn't believing in the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Because remember, I don't remember too on point, but she had like a idol or like a picture something she tried to hide and bring it along and so on and so forth. And then the Lord shows you through when the Israelites were going through, you had a Moabite king that sent these women, I think it was the women of Bashan, to come and try and sway Jake into that stuff. You know, because that's why the scriptures say that the tabernacle of the Most High is with men. So that's your duty as a man.
I should got that precept. I got a precept
Because
regarding
men
that.
don't practice responsibility. See, we get on the woman, but men gotta practice accountability and responsibility. And that's what this society don't teach. Oh, this happened because Jake like to blame people. And every time you blame people, you take the blame off of yourself, and therefore you can't look at yourself because you don't think it's your fault. You know what I'm saying? That's the bad thing about putting the blame on somebody else. But men gotta know responsibility and accountability. Yeah, Eve did this, Eve did that, this and that. But what did you do wrong to help contribute to that? That's what you also should be looking at. It's a lot.
Oh, that's all good. This is Isaiah chapter 46, verse 8. It says, "Remember this and show yourselves men, bring it again to mind, O ye transgressors. Remember the former things of old, for I am God, and there is none else. I am God, and there is none like me." Because that's our whole point. If the Lord chose us to follow what His program is, that's what we're supposed to be doing. And that's the way that men came up, and they became men, and they knew understanding of how to live their life. Because this society teaches you, we were talking about last night, we was taught education. But education of what, though? Where we get educated? We get educated with Esau's doctrine, Esau's philosophies of life. Now, we're not getting indoctrinated what we should have been indoctrinated from the beginning. Our fathers didn't, their fathers didn't. Remember, this whole thing, when the Lord said He discontinued Israel from their heritage, was generations ago, man. So, like, we've been off, like, on a whole nother way that is leading to our downfall. That's why that's why the way our people are living in America is the way it is. Because we strayed away from that years ago, thousands of years ago. You know what I'm saying?
I had a precept I'm trying to look for in the book of Job. I actually got something too. I got something too. Yeah, you bring this up.
This is the book of Ezekiel. I'm back in Ezekiel chapter 15. Oh, excuse me. It's 16. Salakia. I'm gonna start at Ezekiel chapter 16, verse. I'm gonna start at the top. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, "Son of man, call Jerusalem to know her abominations, and say, and Jerusalem being the people first, and say, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh unto Jerusalem, Thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother was a Hittite." And jumping down, I'm gonna go to where the Lord the point. It says, verse 11, "I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands, and a chain on thy neck, and I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thy ears, and a beautiful crown upon thy head. Thou wast decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen and silk and broidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey, and thou wast exceeding beautiful, and thou didst prosper into a kingdom." Now, basically, that was back then, but that's how we supposed to be living, and we live like that because we was more in tune with how Bashim Shad. Now, fast forward, jumping down to verse 15, "But thou didst trust in thine own beauty, and playedest the harlot because of thy renown, and pourest out thy fornications on everyone that passed by, his it was. And of thy garments thou didst take and deckest thy high places and with divers colors, and playedest the harlot, thereupon the like things shall not come, neither shall it be so. And how we play the harlot? We play the harlot with all these other philosophies and all these other things that we've been coming up in, aside from the truth. That's why our people are like the way they are, and that's why the Lord continues to jack us up. And thou also taken thy fair jewels of my gold and of my silver, which I had given thee, and madest to thyself images of men, and didst commit whoredom with them. So like you said, the chick had the picture. That's all our people doing right now, is hanging up idols and following a bunch of wishy-washy BS, man. They're not following the Lord. They following everything else under the sun. That's why the Lord said, I'm going to jack you up, because what? He is a jealous power. So if you following everything besides him, it don't matter if it don't matter if the God is not as evil as the other God. It's not your God. These other guys that our people are following is to their downfall. And that's what it's continuing going. It's never going to be up for them when you following these idols, man. It's always going to be down. If it's not Yahweh Bashim Mashah, you always going to be down, man. No matter where you are. That's why I said everybody that saw him. So these other nations see that. They know that our power is with Yahweh Bashim Mashah. But since we're not doing that, they see, oh, they want us to say like that because we're going to be under them. You know what I mean?
Job chapter 8, verse 8. For inquire, I pray thee, of the former age, and prepare thyself for, to the search of their fathers. And that's what that's what we have been lacking this whole time here in Babylon, because our parents and their parents and their parents, they've all been taught BS. Going back, and speaking about the topic at hand, Christianity, which was beat into our people. Our people legit. As it was beaten, it also was prophesied that we were going to serve other gods, wood and stone, man, gods of these other nations and idols, but we're supposed to be doing what? Searching what? Before slavery, before the west coasts of Africa, which is why we've done the search, and we found out through the Spirit that what? We're the Israelites, and there's a customs, and those are ways and commandments and statutes and laws that we're supposed to conduct ourselves. Because those ways are going to lead us to be what? Prosperous. Those ways are going to lead us to life. It's going to lead us to having our whole family structure better. The way that men and women are going to deal with each other, the way that we're going to deal with our children, the way that we're going to deal with the land, the way that we're going to deal with commerce, everything, man. We have a whole constitution when you read the scriptures, man, a whole way of actual living, and not living, but as Yahweh Shah said, being, I come to give you life and life more abundant, And ultimately that comes when we get into the kingdom, when we get the law, statutes, commandments put in us. But if Jake tried to rehearse the righteous acts now, it'll be way less, held in their lives, man. Way less vexing and way less trouble that you will be getting into. And the only real trouble you will be getting into is being, trouble for Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah sake, which is, actually righteous trouble. You know what I mean?
They said, what's my son, I forgot, but I had more in Ezekiel 16. There's a couple of verses because it actually brings on to your point you were saying. Ezekiel 16, verse 25. Thou hast built thy high place at every head of the way, and hast made thy beauty to be abhorred, and hast opened thy feet to every one that passed by, and multiplied thy whoredoms, like the main one being Christianity and all these other religions and whatnot. Thou hast also committed fornication with the Egyptians, these present-day Edomites, etc. And with thy Egyptians, thy neighbors, great of flesh, and has increased thy whoredoms to provoke me to anger. So the Lord is angry how the Israel is conducting themselves right now. Because what, like the brother said, this knowledge and wisdom leads to more understanding on how to move in this earth. Because in all actuality, the Yahweh Bashim Yahshua knowledge is the understanding. There's no like nothing to get you to understand that more, but the knowledge of the Lord will get you to understand everything else more. Because what? He is that. Because that's his name. I am. He is. You know what I'm saying? So he's everything around your existence. Everything in existence is him. Ezekiel 16, verse 27. Behold, therefore I have stretched out my hand over thee, and have diminished thine ordinary food, and delivered thee unto the will of them that hate thee, the daughters of the Philistines, which are ashamed of thy lewd way. Because what? Deliver them in the way that hate thee. Who's that now? That's Esau. They're the modern day Assyrians and Egyptians and Philistines and whatnot. Those are the people that Esau tells you that he hates you, man. Not in these other nations, they say like they may treat us bad, but who's the one true nation that really hates us, man? That's Esau, man. And they took the role of the Assyrians and Egyptians in this present day life. And it says, thou hast played the whore also with the Assyrians, because thou wast unsatiable. Yea, thou hast played the harlot with them, and couldst not and yet could it not be satisfied? Because our people not satisfied with all this marching BS, all this Black Lives Matter. You doing all this under the sun that is not helping you, man. This is not helping you. Like all that, they still talk about, oh, go out and vote. Well, how long niggas gonna be voting to where like it's gonna be a change? We thought it was with that with Obama, that flopped. And then you got Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is actually doing better for niggas in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Because he's showing you what it is. He's showing you that, look, this is how we feel about you, and that's what they put in office, man. And that was the Malik's plans from the very beginning, because what? That's going to start off the whole tension of Jacob and Esau in the first place. You have to get a guy like that in the office, because Barack Obama is the pacifier. You got to get it shaking. Like, Trump is getting it shaking. He get into it like, yo, these Edomites, you got these Edomites that you work with every day, you see walking past, and I was like, hey, how you doing, Bill? How you doing? But now it's like, you know, Trump. It's code word. It's like, yo, I am racist, and now I get to show it. What's that word? We say, not blatant, but blatantly, but not blatantly. It's like, what's the word?
Covert?
Nah, shit. I forget. But yeah, you basically showing that you're racist, but without still saying it. Like, you're not saying I'm a racist. Indirectly, like subliminally. That's how you're saying it. You know what I mean? And that's the ones that hate you, and you're gonna continue to intermingle with them and be like, oh well, you know, let's work things out and let's, you know, man, no, they're not all bad. That shit is done. That shit is over, man.
Passive.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just because they're not doing all the slave shit and all that, don't mean that they don't feel that way. That sentiment has not changed from the time of Jacob and Esau.
That shit is right under the surface. See, people walking around with these fake smiles and all that, but it's right under the surface. People really hate each other. You know what I mean? Like, people deal with a lot, people, especially like co-workers, people who go to work. Remember Omar Thorne? He came in there and like had shot up the job and all of that amongst some Edomites. It was years ago. His name was Omar Thorne. But people really deal with and tolerate a lot of shit. A lot of these groups, Moab, they take a lot from Esau. And had taken a lot, especially in the recent months with this COVID shit. A lot of Moab developed a deep hatred for Esau because a lot of the Edomites was didn't want to be around them. And I was hearing the stories because I work out here and intermingle with a lot of Moab and stuff like that. So a lot of people got a deep hatred for one another, man. You know, so to the point where they it's right under the surface, and when they snap, it's gonna be big, man, because they got a lot of that just piled in.
That's why you talk about how Esau being passive, and Esau's only passive towards Jake because of it benefits him. You know, a Edomite would be passive towards you if they can see that they can use you for you know, whatever reason. So they can be friendly towards you. The scripture tells you that. You know, he'll be at your side if he could gain. But when you fall, he's gonna be right there to further, you know, to further your fall.
He's right there.
Exactly, and that's the thing. Jake took Esau's passive aggressiveness as them actually being friendly and them not all being bad. But let an Edomite, if it's time for an Edomite to ride, or if it's time for an Edomite to shit on you, and he has to get overt with it, he's gonna do it. But Esau's, because he's a serpent, he's a devil, it's like a snake. If you walk into a snake and you see a snake right there, you're like, yeah, I'm about to bite you, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go around, you know what I mean? But if you can walk by, if you can make the snake make it seem like, oh, he's not bothering you, or, you know, he's not paying attention, or you can walk through, you're gonna do that, you're gonna put your guard down, and then that's when he's gonna attack you. That's why the Lord equivalated Esau to the serpent, man, because he's subtle, he's crafty, he's sneaky, and Jake is simple-minded, and as the scripture says, never trust thine enemy, and that's exactly what Jake did. They trusted the enemy, and now they're in this predicament where they're not trying to go to the enemy for aid, trying to go to the enemy for helping them get in a better situation when they're the ones that put you in the situation in the first place.
Right.
Precept the back of this Jeremiah 15 and 11. The Lord said, verily, it shall be well with thy remnant. Verily, I will cause the enemy to entreat thee well in the time of evil and in the time of affliction.
Yeah, and that goes into it, man. Having an enemy treat you well in the time of affliction. But you're getting afflicted by them. Also in Job, they say that what? He will he seek to please the poor, you know, with all these stimulus packages and having your Black Lives Matter on the streets and shit. He's only doing that to keep you pacified, to keep you underneath him. We always say that. Oh yeah, the stripper, yeah. Go out and vote. He got Jake women stripping, talking about go out and vote, trying to entice, you know, Jake men to vote. It's saying basically that y'all only know about ass and titties, so we gonna put ass and titties in a campaign to go vote, you know? But they're seeking the free support only because they want you to be continue to be underneath them. Yeah. Once they realize that Jake is round up, you know, once they realize Jake is as what's that Genesis, who should rile him up. Once it gets to that point, there ain't gonna be no seeking the porn no more. There ain't gonna be no Esau trying to be passive. He's gonna be straight aggressive. Revelation 12:12, man.
Hey, like that story where the lady had a snake and the snake wasn't eating for a long time. She probably thinking, oh, the snake don't bite. He's very nice.
Yeah.
But he's getting ready, so when his stomach is good, he can swallow you up. Like you said, it's beneficial for the snake not to attack or, you know, get aggressive, let the lady's guard down, and she got her ass swallowed up.
Yep.
Like if a serial killer is trying to get you somewhere, he's gonna act all nice.
That's what he said about Ted Bundy. He was a very nice and welcoming guy. You know?
Get your guard down.
He said he was handsome, he was nice, he was smooth with his words, and here it is, he
Wounds
chopping
in his
off
heart.
titties.
until it's time when you like, okay, I want to leave now.
A
Then
chick
he's
escaped from him. She was like, he had like sky blue eyes, but when he snapped out and like got into it, his shit turned like pitch black.
Oh,
I
shit.
was like, damn, that was a real big.
Yeah.
But he was like a smooth, clean cut Edomite. They got it on Netflix. It's called. It's a Ted Bundy movie, which is pretty good. And they got the Ted Bundy tapes where he confesses, but he said he killed like 30-something bodies. That's just the ones he can remember.
And if you look into those movies, that one movie with J-Lo, where her husband's abusive, he didn't start the relationship abusive. Just like Ike and Tina, he didn't start off abusive, they be smooth, and that's why they always say, when something abusive happened, he was like, but then he apologized, and he was smooth, and he did this, and then like they let it go. But it's two sides. You know, basically it's like a nigga, like he abusive, but then like once he got your guard down again, that's when he knocks you down. You know what I'm saying? That's what Esau did. What it said, those words are sworn with butter, but war was in his heart. Look at Gad and Reuben, what he did to them. He didn't come here saying like, you won't take your shit, fuck you. He like, yo, how you do this? This is a nice little thing right here. I like this, you know what I mean? Like months go by, years go by, you know what I'm saying? Then what? Put the sword in your back. That's why I say what? Backstabbers, man. Those are the people that be in your face smiling. That's what the Lord said, what is it? Open rebuke is better than secret love, because that secret love that they showing is fake. It's not real. It's like they're just doing that because they need you to be get guard down, to get your guard down, and it's easier to get the kill. And that's why, like when the lions and all them hunt, who do they hunt? They hunt the weak. They hunt the little baby, or they hunt the old. They hunt the person that can't run. Yeah, limping or hurt.
hey, like a animal, like a predator, won't chase you until you start running. You know, like they'll stalk you, and then the second you run, you trigger the chase. And that's why Revelation 12:12 says, then shall they come in great wrath. But why? Because they're figuring out that this Jake is catching on. If we don't get him now, we can't use deception no more. Like the cat's out the bag, so fuck it. You know what I'm saying? Run down on him.
Yeah. What is he going to? Oh, Salaki, go
No, I
ahead.
was just gonna say, it's because like a lion roars a lot, but when it's stalking, it doesn't make a sound.
Counsel.
It's like, what's the, what was I going to say? Damn. What's up? They come back.
Hey, that's like you were saying. They just all do that. Yeah.
The predator. Run, trigger the chase. Same thing with dogs. Like they tell you, like when a dog leaves, it's best not to like go like run. Like you run, it needs to make shit like more aggressive. Like chasing.
And it's funny you said that, brother, because I always laugh at dogs, because we had a dog. Well, I had a dog, but my people had a dog, right? So like, we was young as hell. So we was play. If you ever notice, if anybody has a dog in their household, if two people are play fighting, best believe that dog or dogs are gonna hop in it and play along with you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's their normal instinct. Like, oh shit, we got some action. You know what I mean? Yo, if you pay attention, they're always gonna run up to you, and the dog is gonna jump on you. Play fight.
What I was going to say was, it's innate in Esau's DNA, his makeup, to persecute Jake. Esau realized that because of slavery, the scripture says that, what, in the book of Deuteronomy, that, let me get it real quick, Deuteronomy 28,
Yeah, well, brother, look at, because these devils know that their time is short. Because I'm talking about the higher ups. and a little bit of these lower level Edomites, they see that like America's not going back to what it used to be.
Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore thou shalt serve thine enemies, in which Yahweh shall send against thee, in hunger and thirst and nakedness, and want of all things, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he hath destroyed thee. So right there lets you know that he was going to put you in and keep you enslaved until he had destroyed you what? Mentally. So that's why they allowed slavery, quote unquote, to end, because you are now destroyed mentally. He already got you to the point where he doesn't even need to put a yoke of iron on your neck anymore, because he's broken your mind, he's enslaved your mind. And now you got Jake out here thinking they're free, and the Lord is putting the vibration. We're going back to the shaking, back to Ezekiel, putting that shaking to that vibration of Israel remember themselves in the land of their captivity. And Esau is saying what? Well, we gotta either put these niggas back to slavery, hardcore slavery, or we gotta kill them. And that's what Esau's going to revert them back to. He's going to revert back to what he knows best, which is what? His sword. Because how did he get us into slavery in the first place? You know, you did have Jake selling Jake to him, but how did he keep us in that position? By way of his sword, by way of that Gatling gun, by way of killing us. So this is what Esau in this time right now is going to do, because you know Jake is not docile like it were 400 or 500 years ago to just, you know, go into slavery, have a couple Edomite men and chain them up and take it. It ain't gonna be like that in this time. Esau's gonna use more of his of that wrath, man. You know, he's gonna use that wrath to get Jake and to destroy them. He's gonna come down and says, well, they should be like madmen sparing none. You know? So he's gonna use what he knows, because when you go to the book of Deuteronomy, it says what? I'm not Deuteronomy, Genesis, by thy sword thou shalt live. He hasn't had, and he's still living by the sword now, but it's kind of like, you know, he uses it sparingly, so to speak. The time is coming with Jake. The time is coming with Esau's going to be using his sword all day, man. All day, every day, especially when you come to Israelites. That's the time of what? Jacob's trouble. Your concentration camps, you know, the quote-unquote peacekeepers, the UN peacekeepers, they're coming down specifically to you, Jake, to Jake's not paying attention, thinking that you got some quote-unquote rights, and you're going to be trying to stand up and talk about Black Lives Matter and all that. He's saying he ain't going to hear that shit, man. Look at Donald Trump don't care about your Black Lives Matter. You know, these elites don't care about your protesting of Black Lives Matter.
I'm about to say, to the point, like the brother mentioned earlier before I was 12, they know about short time. So if their blessing was to get the rule in the earth with the sword, but their time is short, so why would they not increase the sword? You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like our time is short, so we have to increase how we got this in the first place. And first going to like the point you said with the having a yoke around Jake's neck and now taking it off because we beat down, it's just like back to the point of a dog. When a dog has a collar that shocks them every time they're being loud, and after a certain amount of time, once you take the collar off, he's trained to know, all he knows is that sound of the collar shocking him. So like he's been trained, he's been beat down to like now he's not gonna bark as much as he did, unless it's like really necessary. You know what I mean? Because he's always gonna think about that. That's why Jake don't do certain things, because what? They know that the law is really, really against them. You know what I mean?
Hey, you said we won't have to bark until it's necessary, and this truth is putting that vibration of Jake barking now. You know, we don't advocate for Jake to get violent, but this mindset of Jake being docile is slowly, you know, fading away. It's depleted. They're now looking at society as if, you know, they're better. You have Jake saying, what? We're the chosen. You guys are the devils. You know what I mean? You're talking about Jake in the world saying that. So if they got that mindset and this truth is that vibration, what is he so gonna do? You think he's just gonna let that rock? You know? You had that one video of those people back up, it was like last year, beginning of the year, the Covington kids, you know, when they was out there, I forgot which camp that was, but they was out there basically, you know, cursing out the Edomite kids, and you know, they put that on the news, and they were saying, you know, you got people out here that think this way, that are saying this. This is so crazy, so sad. How are they able to do this? It's the fact that Jake is waking up to knowing that we are superior to you devils, man. But we're saying this in your kingdom. So of course, they get scared and they're gonna do what? Bring out that sword.
Like that lady on the plane.
Oh yes.
She was getting at the Edomite. Yeah, she was getting at the Edomite, and yo, it hit me because I didn't know she was gonna take it that spiritual. So she's like, yo, I'm superior to you, and you know Jake kind of know that. Yeah. But then she goes into like, she's like, you're Esau, and we're Jacob, and we're. I'm like, oh, okay, like, yeah. She hit him with that, like, yeah, she's like, and the Most High's coming back, and he's gonna choose us, and y'all going down. I'm like,
What the Edomite said.
and the Edomite was basically, at first the Edomite was trying to talk back, like, oh, you should sit in your seat, and you need to sit down. And she was like, yo, shut that white supremacy shit down. Not with me, you know. Yeah, she was standing. Oh yeah, she was standing right over her, telling her, look, you Esau, and we Jacob, and you mad, and we gonna be on top. I said, it's a wrap.
And they see that.
I put precepts to back both of y'all brothers on that point. It's Deuteronomy 28 and 10. And the people of the earth shall see that I am called by the name of the Lord, which is Yasharala, and they shall be afraid of you.
And that's right. And that lady, after like the brother said, she was speaking back a little, talking back a little bit, but after a while got quiet. Because while the Lord said, what, in these last days he's going to pour his spirit upon all flesh. Now, wouldn't it be the sanctuary first that he chose in Israel? Yeah, because now it's like, all right, the cat's out the bag. What I'm saying, the cat's out the bag. So once the cat's out the bag, you can't say the cat's not out the bag because it's out the bag. The truth is out because, you know, brothers, I know brothers, I mean, you probably seen this years ago. The apostle said that the cats went to him in a limo, and it was like, we spent mad money to, you know what I'm saying? And that video looked old. That video was like the early 2000s, you know what I'm saying? Or like probably 2006. You know what I mean? So think about how much more the truth has come out in this last bit a couple years.
You got it in different languages.
Countries. You got a death camp in Holland, bro. A camp that prophesies sign language, man. So you know it's on, like, and these devils see that, like, and I'm not talking about the Leafra, I'm talking about these regular Edomites, man. Because now it's to the point to where, like, brothers are telling certain things to where, like, you gonna see that. So, like, you see people, you see a bunch of young black men, so-called black men in dresses, and then the title says, oh, America's never gonna be great again. The Edomites see that, but like, what? Like, that triggers something that don't trigger in Jake. And even in these other nations, because these other nations know. Yeah, exactly.
They see your consistency and they see your confidence. See, they don't believe. So what makes them scared is brothers' consistency and their confidence. Because it's always that thought, like, what if these niggas right? You know? Like, what if these niggas actually right? Who said it? RFK?
Yeah, I'll think about that.
Listen, we've been treating blacks bad all this time. But what if God was actually black? You know, that was the actual statement Robert F. Kennedy said.
I was thinking about that too. I actually did a video about that. And also too, you gotta remember too, even though that shit was a hoax and they paid them off, even that shit is something minute with the Nick Cannon shit a little ways back, man. That shit still resonates with people. You know what I'm saying? Even though they push it under the rug, but it's already been exposed.
And really, you said it resonates, but because Esau don't believe in the pride of his heart that deceives him, he tries to like just shut it off. But that's the lower level Edomites. So the scripture says that we wrestle against the not flesh and blood, but the spiritual wickedness in high places. We're like the elites on the right hand side going against the elites on the left hand side. See, the elites on the left hand side, they believe, they know. That's why it says the devils, they believe and also tremble. Esau, these elites, they know that we're the actual Jacob, that we're the actual chosen, that they're Edomites, that the blessing didn't go to them, they went to us. They know all this stuff. These regular Edomites, they don't be knowing that they're deceived as also. It says what? They have inherited lies. So the ones who are really affected by this is these elites. When they see Nick Cannon, you know, understand that you got the super elites and you got the ones underneath them. The one who owned Viacom, he was actually a Edomite. His name was something Reg Stone, but his actual real name was Reg Steen because he was a Emelite. So these super elites, they know that we're the ones that we're the chosen. So when they see us waking up, when they see blood across the four corners of the earth, that fucks them up. Yep. They're the ones that can't go to sleep. They're the ones that's like thinking upon their bed how to continue, what they're gonna do, because they can't like they losing he's losing his grip. So that's why they want to come with that rap. That's why they're doing all this pandemic and all this commotion and all this shit, because they're going to try to use this whole thing. See, it's the spirit of the Lord that's us waking up the Israelites. Scripture says in the book of Isaiah that I and thy servants that are with me are for signs and wonders. The fact that we're waking up is actually a direct correlation to all these prophecies coming to pass. That's why Esau is bringing out the children, because he sees Israel waking up. And he says what? He has a short time, so now he has to push on his agenda of starting this new world order.
He went right to the Lord said.
Exactly.
Because that's what he was playing. He set you up to do that. He set you up to like, look, all right, once this happens, then you're going to do that. It's basically like there's a bunch of moves being made on the chessboard.
Just a quick, to show you, let no man, 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3. Let no man deceive you, for that day shall not come, except they be a fallen away from you. So that's heavy prophecy because Israel, he was letting them know, look, Israel had to fall as a nation and go into captivity. Not just here in Rome, but it also the dark ages will come, and they have to go in captivity in Babylon, which is America. So he said, listen, that judgment day is not going to come until Israel fall as a nation first. And we fell and now we rising. So it says, and that no man, and that man of sin shall be revealed, the son of perdition.
Hey, that's right there, Steve, because Israel fell, and then we got remembered, and then when we got remembered, who got revealed? The man of sin.
Damn.
Because that's us remembering ourselves is now it's like, well, now remember who you are too. And that's what Esau was trying to hide the most. He was trying to hide that he was the man of sin.
Right. And the movie The Best Man, the white one that was dating Nia Long, the actor, I forget his name, but they was all down there in the basement, and he said something about like towards him and his nationality, more chestnut, the best man, with more chestnut and all that.
Yeah, I know you were saying something, what?
The Edomite, he was dating,
Was it the best man Christmas?
with more chestnut.
Well, it don't matter.
Anyway, but he was the Edomite one. He was like the son of perdition.
Get out of here.
He was like, yeah, I guess me, the son of perdition. They was like in the basement talking. It was the best man. I forgot. If I later on, I'll pull up the cast and show you which
The
one.
point being,
He had said, the son of perdition.
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen that movie.
It was a heavy, quick. It was a quick point.
And that's what they do too. They throw it in there quick. They throw it in there, and it goes over people's heads. But that's good to caught. That's the spirit. Cause now it makes me want to watch that movie because now I seen that movie and it was okay. But like, if he said words like that, that's a direct line to the scriptures. There's nothing else that explains that. Like they got that from the scripture. These directors already said that they take stuff out the Bible. James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, all these devils, man.
What Seth Rogen said. He said that we have been taught he said a heavy amount of lies growing up about Israel. That's what he said. He's a Jewish, he's a rat. He said that we've been taught since kids a heavy amount of lies about what Israel is in Israel period.
And you just said they inherited lies. So like he's part of the actual main bunch of motherfucking heathens that inherited lies. Because they actually
They come to fall apart.
And that's heavy because you wouldn't have heard that 30 years ago from no fucking rats or even 10, 20 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like in 2010. You know what I mean? They was all making their little gay movies and Knocked Up and 40-Year-Old Virgin and all that. But now it's like those movies, you don't see too many of those movies no more. Because what now, this is not the time of laughter, this is the time of the look. The quarantine was for 6 months, that shit shut it down. And then now you got like this, everybody, they trying to rebuild. You know what I'm saying? But after the next, it's too late because this place is already destroyed. Because once the economy was destroyed like that for those 6 months, yeah, like you get, exactly, you can't help it.
Hey, like in Game of Thrones, there's that scene where the little boy Bran, he caught the Edomite having sex with his sister, and then he pushed him off because he found out the truth about what they really are, and that was gonna bring out an even bigger secret. It's funny, it's called a falling away. He literally fell off of the window, and he lost his memory. So they weren't concerned. They were like, it's no threat. But when he started to regain his memory, he started coming back to consciousness. Then they tried to assassinate him, try to kill him, like Esau doing today.
So now you know.
Yeah.
Verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. So that's why this whole society is purposely against the Bible. This man know the Most High hate him and going to judge him. So he set his whole society up in opposition of the Most High. The Most High say you can't eat all the shrimp, pork, and lobster. What do? Set up red lobster. He said you can't be homosexual. What do? He set up homosexual marriage. The Most High say you can't sleep with animals. You can't get tattoos. He set up anything, any law in the scriptures. He purposely set up the opposition of it. You know, that's why and Jake say that now about these new Jake say those my opposition, meaning my enemies, or meaning what those are the ones in opposition of me that's coming against me. You know what I'm saying? So this devil is saying who opposes and exalteth himself above all that is called God or that is worship. So he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God, which is what the minds of the Israelites. You know, we want you to bow down and worship him, ultimately through the church. Remember ye not that when I was with you, I told you these things. And now you know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time, which is now. For the mystery of iniquity that already worketh. For the mystery of iniquity that already worketh. Only he who letteth will now let until he be taken out of the way. So the Lord is letting his devil run crazy and do what he do until it's time for him to be taken down.
You got the wine and everything?
Verse 8. And then shall that wicked be revealed. This is the main point I want. And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall pursue with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. So right now the spirit of his mouth is what? It's truth, it's prophecy. And the Lord is destroying them right now, this devil with the spirit of his mouth. You know, exposing this devil that they the Edomites, all the wickedness that they did, that they hide from, that they trying to cover it up. So they being consumed with the spirit of his mouth, and right after that, he's going to destroy him with the brightness of his coming. See, that the Lord is going to systematically destroy this devil inside out. He ain't just going to just come and wipe Esau out, and nobody know who he was and why he got wiped out, why he got robed on. No, the Lord going to send his men up to expose this devil through the spirit of truth. Then after that, he's going to come back physically with the chariot and just air his whole shit out in under an hour.
Yeah, and before that, the Lord breaking it down, because he said, what, same house is divided. So, like, if this same house is divided already, so how can it stand? So, like, the Lord is already breaking his place down to where, like, when the Lord comes through with his brightness and his coming, it's just going to just knock this shit flat. That's why it's only going to be an hour. Because America's going to be so fucked up and so jacked up already. When the Lord and the angels and that great fire comes and the missiles come, it's going to be easy to take it out. Because why? Like we said before, when the prey is looking to destroy something, he goes when it's weak. You know what I'm saying? So he can just take it down easily. And that's what the Lord is going to do, because the Lord is breaking down America, breaking it down monetarily, breaking it down morally, breaking it down all like that. So when he comes, it's going to be easy. It's going to be light work.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to bring something out?
And that's why he's also scared that the Most High is waking us up, because he knows that is the timeline that he's been given. His timeline is basically you have until the elect wake up. And that's Revelation 7, the 7th chapter, the first verse, or on down.
When there was a border he cannot pass, I know it's in Job, I believe.
Yeah, it's bound that he may not. I'll find it.
So like that's where we at right now, and Esau thinking he's gonna so like he thinks he's gonna pass that border, because why? The pride of his heart has deceived him. Who put that pride in his heart? How about Shemal Shai? Because he's seeing that, look, man, America's not what it used to be, but like somehow, since it's still existing, it's gonna somehow come back and flourish and be that great place that it was. Nah, it's not like that, man. It's all down from here. You know what I'm saying? That's what people don't understand.
Found it? Okay.
Job 14 and 5. Job 14 and 5. Seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass.
Right, and that was appointed from the beginning, because the Lord said what? I declared the end from the beginning. So that the Esau's rulership and the expiration date of it was declared from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Because like, it was nothing for the Lord. The Lord has everything already what's that word? It's already played out, so to speak. It's already scripted and already a beginning, middle, and end.
But it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
The script was written,
Exactly.
and now we just acting out what's written. Movies got scripts, plays got scripts, then the actors get picked, because the movie and the play was already written. Now we just gotta put it in action.
Yeah, and it's being put in action full throttle, man. Because now, like in a movie, when you're in a movie theater, you can't rewind it. You know what I'm saying? And this ain't coming out on DVD. This is one and done. You know what I'm saying? This is one show. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be that, and then it's
One
gonna be
take,
one take. It ain't gonna be no a sequel. But the sequel's gonna be the Kingdom, and that's going to be forever. You know what I'm saying? But this movie right here, this Esau's rulership and these other nations having the upper hand over Israel, this is a one-time show, man. Because at the end of the day, once this place is done, It's us ruling forever. Ain't gonna be no, are we gonna go up again? How much I gotta go across again? Nah, man. It's gonna be, the Lord said what? I'm gonna put everything back like the days of old. You know what I'm saying?
The book of
better,
Isaiah,
yep.
Isaiah chapter 45, verse, I'll start at 5. It says, sit thou in silence and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans.
Right.
For thou shalt no more be called the lady of kingdoms. And that's how you know this is talking about America. You know, people talk about why is America Babylon? Well, this is the one nation that everybody wants to come to, or everybody did want to come to.
Yeah.
You know, this was the beacon of you know, they have the UN meetings is here. Whenever they have a UN meeting, they're always looking for the president of the United States to lead it. So this place is a place where people is the top country or top nation on earth right now, man. Keep going. It says, I was wroth with my people, I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancients hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever. So that thou didst not lay these things to thine heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it.
Even the time of Babylon, ancient Babylon, like we still was in tune with Yahweh about Shemi outside. But this part is like when he's real rough with his people because he straight discontinued us, man. And now he's bringing us back into the fold. You know what I mean?
It said what? It said, thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither did thou remember the latter end. See, these Edomites, they didn't remember the fact that the Lord still is going to choose Jacob. You know, and what is it? Isaiah 14 and 2. I've chosen Jacob. Let me get it real quick. Isaiah 14 verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall join with them, and they shall cleave unto the house of Jacob. See, Esau didn't consider that part. He just considered the fact that he had rulership. He had us, you know, the northern tribe and the southern kingdom, both in slavery. That, you know, everybody's looking at him as being God. He just considered that, well, this is just what it's going to be. That's why you got Edomites now to say, well, you know, if there's a nuclear war, then everybody's going to die. Right. You know, or if America's not on top, then, you know, the world won't be able to last. You know, they try to say, well, you guys, you niggas needed us. If you guys didn't, we didn't come in enslave you. Civilization. You know, you didn't consider the fact that, wait, y'all not the Israelites. This isn't the kingdom of heaven. So, according to the Lord, the kingdom of heaven must come. The heavenly Father is going to send his son back, and Yahweh Shai is supposed to be the king on earth. So you didn't consider, well, if this is the case and he has a people, then these people that we're fucking up, which are the Israelites, which they know that, he didn't consider the retribution for that, the recompense of his actions. But in the latter end, you want to consider it because what? Because the Lord said what? I should destroy him by the spirit of his mouth. And we're telling you that, man.
And see how they wrote it. He said, yet I was wrong with my people, yet I still choose Jacob. Because it said, show Jacob. He said, choose Jacob, right? He said?
Oh, yeah, mercy on Jacob, and yet choose him.
So it sounded, but it's already past tense. So that already is like, that's already etched in stone. You know what I mean? But it's this point now that's playing out. You know what I mean? People always got to remember that because in the scriptures back in the day, it seems like it's talking about it didn't happen yet because it didn't. That's why I know the apostles will say like a lot of stuff in the Old Testament didn't even play out. That the reincarnated way of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. When it talks about the Assyrians and the Chaldeans, it talks about these Edomites now. When it says you in spiritually known as Sodom and Egypt, what place would that be? People don't think like that's why these pastors don't bring those scriptures out because they don't have people think like that. What place is called spiritually Sodom and Egypt? Because there's nothing called Sodom and Egypt like physically.
And that's why you got people like Vocab that's going so hard against this because he's seeing that, well, if they're the Israelites and we're the Edomites, then he's actually considering the latter end of what it could possibly mean. You know what I mean? He's actually reading it like, yo, and that's crazy because that means that they're in for a fucking, you know, in for some hell. You know, but that's why he's going so hard with trying to combat us and trying to destroy the Hebrew Israelism, what he calls it. Hebrew Israelism. But you can't destroy this, man, because as they said in the book of Acts, what? That if it be of the Most High, then you can't fight against it. Right. At least you find yourself fighting against the Heavenly Father, man.
And what we talked about last night, we talked about like when people saying that they think they're coming against us personally. Now, you're not coming against this man, you're coming against the Heavenly Father. It's not about us, and that's what people get misconstrued. I don't want
concerning the fact that this is Judas chapter 9, starting from verse 6. year what things thou, Yahweh, didst determine were ready at hand. So basically what the getting into is that, these prophecies are set in stone. It's a future thing. So we have to go read it, like a journey.
Yeah, it ain't past tense.
I got something to back you up. Now, the book of Daniel, chapter 25, verse 26, it says, I start 25. Huh? Daniel chapter, I said 25, my bad. Daniel chapter 7. Brother don't find the missing verse. Brother don't find the 7 missing verses.
I didn't repeat.
It's a lock here. There'll be one that's through with his tongue, but not with his heart.
I thought you said another book.
Daniel chapter 7, verse, I'm going to start it because Daniel's good. If you want to pray, I'm going to break it down. Daniel 7, verse 22. It says, and I beheld until the days I beheld until the Ancient of Days came, and the judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Thus he said, the four beasts shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. It says, and that's talking about what? That was talking about this is the Roman Empire, but Roman Empire reloaded, which is here in Babylon the Great. And this was diverse from all the other kingdoms. And one of the ways it was diverse is because of what? Because they had what, the Senate, They had the presidencies and all that. All these other kingdoms had what? Kings. They had the what do you call it? Patriarchic, monarchies through dynasties. There you go. But here you have what? You go every 4 years you change and the vote, quote unquote vote, all this other things.
Nothing too, because they choose it anyway.
Yeah, of course. Yep. It says in the 10. Okay.
Oh, okay. I'm on beast.
Hey, peace. It says, and the 10 horns out of this kingdom are the 10 kings that shall arise, and shall arise as a locket, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, which goes into what? Was that the Spanish, the British? Yep. Because that's how America was established. You had the French and 13 colonies. Yeah, the 13 colonies. You had the Spanish American Wars. You had the French Revolutionary Wars. The French American Wars. Yep. And the French. Yeah, go ahead.
New York, Britain. They got New York from Britain. They got Florida from Spain, and they got Louisiana from the French. That's why you got the French quarters.
Louisiana Purchase. Yep. Keep going. It says, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and that goes back to what he opposes all things that is set up as the Most High, and the whole exalted the whole transhumanism, talking about they're false miracles, talking about we can give you your eyesight back, we can I thought it was version. Oh shit!
Dogs flying?
This king.
Pigs fly. It says, and it shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. And that's what this devil has been doing in here in Babylon, man. When you go into the book of Revelation, it talks about that she was filled, that whore was filled with the blood of the martyrs of Yahweh Shai, man. And this is what Esau has done, with the actual prophets in Israel, because all of Israel are considered saints, because we're the ones that made the covenant with the Most High by sacrifice. And here in Babylon, what has Esau done to the Israelites here? Wore out the saints, man. By way of the jail system, by way of the ghettos and the hoods, breaking up our family structures, all these things that is wrong with this society. It's more perpetuated on Jake, man. Where we get it even worse, even with the whole quote unquote COVID thing. They say, well, who's affected the most? The blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans. So they wear out the saints of the Most High.
And so the truth getting out, because they ain't just saying blacks. He said blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans. Who the hell throw that line up out there like that besides us? You know what I'm saying? So they starting to notice like we can't leave Hispanics and Native Americans out, or we can't basically leave the northern kingdom out. You know what I mean? They bunch them all in there together. So they know people, that's like code word to let signal like to let y'all know that we know.
Y'all know.
It's funny because that is the truth. You ain't want to read? Yeah, go ahead, bro.
It says, and to think chimes, so like an and to think. Oh, it's not charging?
Yeah, I think it died. Yeah.
You probably ended it a little bit anyway. It says, and to think, to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times in the dividing of time. It says, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it until the end. And I go back to what we were saying before, that this judgment is already written. You know, it's already going to sit. It's already established, preordained that this is what the Lord is going to do. You know, and it said what? That we're going to that Esau's society, Esau's kingdom, his dominion is going to be taken away, and it's going to be destroyed and consumed. It says, in the kingdom and dominion, in the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him.
That's why they said that they the Jews. They try to equate that with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You can't have both. You know what I mean? You already got this age. You can't have this age and the next age, man. By you having this age shows you that you're the Edomite. What is that, second Esdras? Esau is the end of this world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So this has to come to pass, man. You know, and this is the comfort that we get being in this place. Like, yeah, we know this shit is hell, but understand now what? The saints of the Most High is going to have the kingdom in the dominion. The Lord's kingdom, which says, Yahweh Shai said, repent ye for the kingdom of God is at hand. The kingdom of God is the kingdom of Israel. This is not the kingdom of God. God didn't bless this place. God is not smiling upon this place. None of that, man. The kingdom of God is the kingdom of Israel, which is why the disciples asked the Lord, will you now restore the kingdom back into Israel? That's what it's all about. The dominion is about power. It's about dominion. It's about kingdomship. And right now Esau has it, but he's losing it, man. And he sees that, and he can't really do anything to stop it. Which is now he's going to resort back to his last, whatever he got, his last thing, when he got blessed with, which is the sword. But the Lord is going to set up that standard against you devils, man. Don't think that your sword, you're just going to just destroy us, man. No, you getting destroyed, man.
But they don't logically make sense that if they're the Jews, because like where are these Jews out when they were just popping a bunch of women spreading their seed, and all of a sudden now they in Israel again? And the Lord said when he put Israel back in the land of Israel, that he said that the whole world is going to glory and know him through them. So like we're looking at them like, man, they're touched by the hand of Yahweh. They're touched by the hand of heaven. They're touched from heaven. Like nobody looks at them like that. And
the whole Ezekiel 36
word.
whole Amalek.
Word.
Nobody serves and obeys Amalek, man. You got people.
I'm gonna get that.
You got them. They over there in the state of Israel protesting against Israelis, man. You got own Israelis protesting against you, man. But the Lord said what? That when the saints of the people of the Most High gets the kingdom, all of the whole world is going to serve and obey us, man. Through what? Yahweh Shai and the joint heirs, the elect, man.
Right. They should be immortal.
Yeah, they should be immortal. You know what I mean? They should be having everybody serve and obey them. They shouldn't need Babylon to give them billions of dollars a year for mental, for weaponry and defense system.
Right.
You shouldn't be no wars on the earth no more.
Word. You supposed to win. The war is supposed to be won when Israel back in Israel. Like y'all supposed to have dominion over the whole earth. Because the Lord said when Yahweh came back, when the Lord came to deliver back the Jews in Jerusalem, he said what? That the whole world is going to see and every knee shall bow.
And they're going to come up and keep the feast of Tabernacles. And they shall learn war no more. You know what I'm saying?
We're supposed to build up their kingdom. We didn't do that. They're supposed to suck the breath of the kings of the earth. Iran wants to blow them off the kings of the earth.
Where the gates open at? Y'all talking about y'all need trees from somewhere else?
The kibbutz.
Israel's locked down. You can't even go into Israel right now.
Yeah, y'all got COVID? The Lord said that and the scripture said that when Israel's back in its whole complete glory, said what? Where's this thing of death? Right. Where's that at? Because y'all clearly die, y'all get old, y'all stink. You know what I'm saying? Nobody look at you like, oh, these are the people of God right here. Because the Lord said the whole earth is going to reverence the Israelites, man. Because what? They're going to see his glory through them.
They don't even combat us. As we say, look, we the Israelites, they don't really be like, no, y'all not. We are. They don't even say.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody was, like, you got some California blood.
Right.
You can have some New York blood that's false flagging, right? They could be like, look, yo, but you would speak up. If you like a part of something or created something and you put all this energy to establish this thing, like, that's like having some other brothers that's saying they live in violence. You like, yo, you gotta check them dudes. Yo, you can't be going around. We ain't gonna get carnal like niggas, but it's gonna be like, listen, if y'all was the Israelites and the Jews, why y'all not really like, listen, them guys like, they're not defending it. We constantly saying, look, the Holocaust, that was a hoax, this and that. Y'all not really, and Amalek can say, I would tell you guys no mind. They don't have really no foundation to really stir or back up what they say.
That's why when Nick Cannon said that, when he had sat down with a rabbi, what did he say? He said the rabbi wanted to teach him about the Holocaust. That's the only thing they can point to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They said, well, we're going to teach you why, because Nick Cannon said that we're the Jews. He never said that. Well, I mean, he might have mentioned something about the Holocaust, but he was saying that we're the chosen. This rabbi didn't come say, you know what, we're going to show you why we're the chosen, why we're the true chosen. He said, you need to learn about the Holocaust and the atrocities and what happened during that time. Tell me how you the Israelites.
And they can't even name all the people that died in the Holocaust. Like, cough them names up. I bet you a lot of that should be fictitious. That was bullshit, man.
And speaking of names, yo, why ain't nobody representing Yeshua? That should be the name that everybody fucking mouth.
Oh yeah, no, they don't even believe in the Messiah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, remember
Yahweh. But what about Yahweh?
They don't even say that. They say Hashem.
Hashem.
Wait, so who's
In the name
supposed to
of
bring the
what?
kingdom? Who's supposed to bring the kingdom?
Yeah.
Yahushua is supposed to bring it, but you don't believe in him.
I got it.
What the hell?
It's funny because like the spirit just landed on Amalek. You know what I'm saying? This is Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 1. Also, thou son of man, prophesy unto the mountains of Israel.
Now, when it says the mountains, a lot of scripture you'll think government, but actually this is talking about the land, the actual landmass. The landmass of Israel. Read on.
Unto the mountains of Israel, and say, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are in
Because they
possession.
said into the land, like, look, we're going to take that land 1945 to 48.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We're going to take the land and ours in possession, man. You know?
And then he said even the ancient high places, they got Jerusalem.
And that's a mountain. That's on actually on the mountain, like the brother was bringing.
Way after we left, we was taken out of that land. And ours in possession. Verse 3, therefore prophesy and say, which we're doing right now, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye may be.
And they got, and look, and you got other, Amalek just not in it. In the land of Israel, you got quarters of like Moab, Ishmael,
Ethiopians.
all them different nations that took like sectioned it off for themselves, man. So that's on point. Because remember, when the Lord set this chapter off, he's actually talking to the land of Israel, not like the people or Amalek. He's talking to the land. He's saying how people plotted out to take that land, which is his favorite part of land. You know, but did you bring that part back though?
Ezekiel 36, verse 3. Therefore prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen. If I may say, the land of Israel is jacked up right now. Because I remember ways that they said that they needed trees to be imported. Yeah, to be imported, because like it was so jacked up there. You know what I'm saying? That ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, which brother just said, he mentioned besides Esau, aka Amalek, residue of the heathen, and ye are taken in the lips of talkers and are an infamy of the people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord God. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, to the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys, to the desolate wastes, and to the cities that are forsaken, which became a prey and derision to the residue of the heathen that are round about. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, and against all Idumea, that's Edomites, which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their hearts, all their wickedness, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey.
And if you go into that word appoint, I believe it's declared. which it tells you one of the definitions is to declare. And that's what the Balfour Declaration is. You know?
We're the Jews now.
Yeah.
And they don't say, and that's when you know that they're not really about that, like they say they're Jewish. When we go into Jewish, you got ISH, it's like something to pertain to. But they're not even Jewish because they have nothing to do with Judah, Israel, Jerusalem, man.
Or Israelis.
Israelis.
The word Israelis is pertaining to modern day Israel.
Yeah.
Israelite meaning pertaining to ancient Israel.
The word for declare is to appoint, Salaki is Nathan. It says to give, to put, to bestow, to grant, to permit, to ascribe, to devote, to dedicate, to sell, to exchange, to lend, to commit, to entrust. What else you got? To extend. Trying to see where.
Wait, but why would they need the land to be given back to them if it was already theirs?
Right. And it was permitted unto them by what? The Balfour Declaration. They couldn't go into that land except that whole agreement happened. Because that land was basically a providence under Great Britain during that time. So that's why them rats needed Britain to basically write that Balfour Declaration so that they can say like, look, we got this declaration, we got this piece of paper that said that we and all of us that's coming here, that we can come into this land and we're gonna kick y'all Palestinians out of here. So it's permitted unto them to do so.
But it wasn't Britain who gave it to them in the first place. So how the hell is Britain gonna have the power to permit you? Isn't the Most High who gave you the land?
That's why I said all Idumeans, because that's Edomites too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hold on.
To nominate, to name, designate, nominate. I think it was like under like a synonym for it. But that also, those also are synonyms like to actually declare from the Balfour Declaration. Yeah.
And if it was 1945, I mean in the 1940s, but like, how is y'all being put there, written out? And that's not of the Lord, that's of man. That's why the Lord said anything of man, it could be torn down. And that's why there's always friction in Israel. Because I remember when I was in elementary school, I was always hearing about them against the Palestinians. You know what I'm saying? Israel, and there's like always like tips going along.
Yeah, they always used to say back in the day, peace in the Middle East. Peace to
Yeah,
the
and
Middle
because
East.
of that, and it was because of that, and everything always revolved around Israel because they know that that's the holy land. That's how you know this Bible too. Because why is it no other land talked about like Jerusalem and Israel? Why did they choose Israel, man? They could have chose anybody.
Right.
They could have chose they could have chose to be the Persians. They could have chose to be the Egyptians. They could have chose to be the who else is out there? They could have kept being the Romans. Yeah, that could have been the Moabites. That could have been anybody. Why little old Israel?
We got next.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get a jump start on that, like.
And they got to fulfill prophecy because the Lord said they appointed that land to them. And they doing all that, the will of their dirty work, man.
Oh,
Yeah, I got one more verse.
Now it's more. There's more. Bring that out.
You want verse 5 again?
Yeah, no, read on. There's
Yeah,
so
I'm reading
much
verse
in
6.
there.
Verse 6 definitely pops. Ezekiel 36, verse 6. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel and say unto the mountains and to the hills and to the rivers, to the valleys, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because he hath borne the shame of the heathen.
Right, because what's the shame of the heathen? They eating what? Kosher pig over there. Motherfucking rabbi smoking kosher cigarettes.
Sucking baby dicks.
Yeah,
What?
sucking baby dicks. That's the shame of the heathen. They doing all kinds of fucking wickedness
City,
over
Tel
there.
Aviv.
Yeah, Tel Aviv, Pink City, which was Ashdod. Ancient Ashdod was modern day Tel Aviv because that's a seaport in Israel.
They
You know, that's
actually-
why I said a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod.
They actually have not a what are Muslims worshiping? What is this called?
Mosque?
Yeah,
Mosque,
mosque.
yeah,
Oh,
there's a
they do, they
mosque
do.
over there
Jewish
in
mosque.
no, it's an Islamic
Islamic
mosque
mosque.
in Israel.
Bruh.
So you have a whole. They actually allow you to worship another god in Israel.
Yeah.
They had mosques. That's right, you're right. I know they had, I remember hearing that they had Muslims worshiping in Israel, like Muslims worship in Israel.
shit.
I remember hearing that.
Yes, they actually have that
man.
shit, man.
But they don't even worship the Most High. They follow that Talmud shit.
And they have a thing where it's called like the greater greater international something where they're trying to build a universal church where everybody can go and worship in that church over there, and they're trying to build it in Jerusalem.
Any religion?
Any religion can worship in that church in Jerusalem.
That's fucking spiritual gumbo.
I got a testimony too.
That shit is sick. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean, I did research on that a couple years ago.
Did a video on it. I saw it, yeah.
In the same building at the same time.
And that's confusion. That's not, what is right? What is right? Hold on, imagine you walking there and you trying to figure out yourself. You trying to figure out something, you know what I mean? I'm gonna go to Israel. I heard this building there, you know what I mean? Universal something. You walking there, you like, Assalamu alaikum, shalom. Yeah. Choose your pick for the day.
And that's how you know these are fucking devils, because they're doing that in the Holy Land, man.
Word.
They're doing that in the land where the reason why we got kicked out.
Yeah.
And Shemai, the reason that we got kicked out is because of worshiping other gods, man. That's the reason why we got kicked out of that land, is because we was worshiping other gods. But this devil goes in there and sets that exact thing up, man. And you talking about you the true chosen people? That don't make no sense, man.
Yeah, and the Lions. Yeah.
But tell me if I'm wrong, Austin. Then the Lord said that Israel was all well and good. That He said He's going to tear down the idols of the other nations. So when you building it, is you saying we can all worship the different gods, worship different. Yeah, worship. That's crazy. That's how you know we definitely are there, because that's definitely a shame. And like, remember the Lord said they're going to bear the shame of what they did. So like, so when we come back to worship, we're like, yo, look what you did to our land. We're going to jack you up, man. You worship. Yeah.
Hey,
Worship, pig.
but the Most High is not even with quote unquote unity camps to where we all Israelites, and you might teach the mark of the beast ain't the chip. I still, the Lord ain't with me teaching with you if I'm teaching that it is the chip.
Word.
So if He ain't with that, how the hell is He gonna be with you talking about some Allah or Buddhism or worshiping idols? That don't even make sense.
Deuteronomy 12 verse 1. These are the statutes and the judgments which ye shall observe to do in the land which Yahweh power thy father giveth to thee to possess it all the days that ye live upon the earth. Ye shall utterly destroy all the places wherein the nations which ye shall possess serve their gods, upon the high mountains and upon the hills and upon every green tree. Ye shall overthrow their altars and break their pillars and burn their groves with fire. Ye shall hew down the graven images of their gods and destroy the names of them out of that place. Ye shall not do so until the Lord your God. So the only thing you're supposed to have is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai's altar, man.
And check this out. And like you know what Esau doing all this? It's all for money. Because that's gonna bring it's money, it's so much money and
Money
religion.
and Satan worship.
Yeah,
That's where they get their power from, the left hand side.
Right. So the brothers read something in Deuteronomy, right? That's somehow the Lord said Israel was gonna get down once they was in rulership. And back then that's what happened, because that was after Egypt. So all of a sudden y'all gonna fast forward. Y'all the Israelites still from that same program, but now you saying you're gonna have a universal building that's gonna have every religion and their followers follow the shit. Like that shit crazy. Like that sounds unreal.
Hey, to back the brother on that beautiful point he had, 2 Chronicles 15 and 13, that whosoever will not seek the Lord God of Israel should be put to death, whether small or great, whether man or woman.
Woo! So that's the Lord showing that He's not biased, man. Oh, the Lord don't care that you pretty. Oh, you scream. Oh, you. But you said you ain't gonna worship, so that means that's an automatic kill, man. Like you done for him, man. And that's what's gonna come when the Lord's judgment comes, because that's gonna be the judgment. Cause like either you follow the Lord or you don't. So the Lord said, if you're gonna die or you're gonna live, choose life. We choose life here, and Lord willing, every brother here and abroad stays in the spirit behind Bashim Nashah. So the time coming approaches, and actually here, it's gonna be like, we're gonna have that hedge over us, man. Because you don't got the hedge, then you're gonna get fucked up by anything out here that's gonna fuck people up.
And you know these people don't have the true and living power, because with them, we all can worship the same. Oh, I call him Allah, you call him this and that in school. Like certain people in my family that's Muslims, so-called diehard Muslims, they not really strong in their spot as far as, because they'd be like, oh, you know, it's open to anything. Right. To them, God is God. You call him this, I call him that, whatever. Like this, but And in our head, like, nah, you can't do that. The Most High jack us up. You know what I mean? I can't make mention of give praises or say unrealized and shit like that. The Most High, like, jack you up for that. But to them, they can say our slogans or, okay, all right, all praises to, how you say it, Yahweh? Okay, then all praises to Yahweh then, however you want to say it. They like more neutral and like agreeable, like I ain't trying to offend you, but we like, nah, the God we believe in is real. Like that shit y'all is shaky on, and y'all don't have a firm foundation. That's why y'all like open arms to everybody with it and don't want like no confrontation or don't fear. Like, listen, nah, the name is Allah and you gotta serve Allah and that's it. Whatever you serving, that shit is off. They ain't saying that. They ain't saying that. They like, oh, what you calling? Well, I'm sorry, brother. Well, I didn't mean to offend you. That's your belief. God is God. Nice to meet you, brother. And that's how they coming. But we like, no. God ain't God. His name is this. He got certain attributes and ways about him and shit he don't like. And that shit you talking about gonna get you smoked.
That's right.
And all these religions out here, you could stop doing it, you can stop practicing it, go do your thing, be a fucking robber, be a thug or whatever, and then come right back. But this right here, the Lord said to decline not his ways. So once you learn the truth, this is supposed to be your life. This is not a religion thing. This is a nationality thing. Like, so like us being Israelites live a certain way. A Muslim is a religion, so you can't say what are you, and I'm Islam, I'm Muslim, because that's a religion. You got Ishmaelites that's Muslim, you got Moabites that's Muslim, Hamites, Persians, they all Muslim. So how is that a divide? How is that bringing in when that's the Lord is dealing with everybody through nations? The Lord is not dealing with you through religion, because He said what the Lord these religions are vain. You know what I'm saying? So like how you gonna do that? Like, we all Israelites by blood and by spirit. You know what I'm saying? That's why everybody here Israel has a connection because what? We're the same people. And that's why these other nations had a connection with themselves because they're the same people. That's what it's about. It's not about what you follow because everybody's God is vain except for Yahweh Bashim Ashah, who's the ultimate power that created all of them. Right, I mean?
I think I'm already all this going.
I think that was Tazaiwan was saying that's the new world way of thinking. They already are indoctrinating before the actual new world order has been established. So you're thinking new world order, you know? Oh, let's all coexist and come together and be one.
Right.
That's what Antiochus Epiphanes tried to do.
Nimrod.
The Tower of Babel.
What was that? Verse 7. Okay, I'm going to read verse 6 again. Ezekiel 36:6. Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel and say, unto the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and to the valleys. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because ye have borne the shame of the heathen. Therefore,
and we got into that those different saying. We could kind of go on and on with that. And the brother, the elder, Taliban brought out some dude. I ain't know it was that deep. Edification on that. But go ahead.
And verse 8. But ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people of Israel.
That's very important. It's showing you that the rats or the people that's in here, that the land is not producing. The land of Israel, like, man, fuck y'all. Y'all ain't the Lord's people. When we get in here, the earth.
Act right.
I'm a act right for y'all. You know what I'm saying? The earth is viewed as like a nurturer, a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna act right. I'm gonna do what you want me to do. I'm gonna do this and that. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you heathens in it, I'm gonna be the shittiest piece of land that you could ever think of. But they said what? The land shall yield this branch to my people Israel, the real Jews, us. The Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and the Israelites are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, coming back to the fold, whose line go back to the seed of Jacob. Read on.
Because some parts of Israel is like low-key like a desert. Some parts. Verse 8, I'm gonna read verse 8 again. But ye, O mountains of Israel, ye shall shoot forth your branches and yield your fruit to my people of Israel, for they are at hand to come.
See? But they are at hand to come. That's prophecy, man. Because the Lord gonna bring us back over there. Read on.
For verse 9, for behold, I am for you, and I will turn unto you, and you shall be tilled and sown, and I will multiply men upon you, all the house of Israel.
Yeah, and one of the, what's that intravenous thing they do, IVA? when they put the pregnancy, the sperm in the false
Artificial insemination.
Yeah, they got one of the biggest IVA centers.
Like sperm banks?
No, when they do the pregnancy.
Actual operation.
What's spiritual about that? 'Cause my woman, she worked in not my woman, my baby mom's, whatever. She worked in a cancer institute, whatever. And a lot of people, they go there for different reasons to see, like, a lot of women go there to see if they, like, have any cancers in their uterus because they have just to make sure that they can give birth or, hold a baby, whatever. And he said a lot of Jewish women was going there because they weren't getting pregnant. So they was going there to make sure that everything they was testing correctly, that they was basically saying, I gotta make sure I can get pregnant. We're having a hard time getting pregnant. So they wanted to do like all that extra shit because they couldn't get pregnant. It goes against the scripture because it says that Israel was gonna be what? It was gonna be fruitful. You know what I mean? We're gonna be eating. They be getting pregnant.
Well, you don't want to.
Like in that movie, what's that movie? Don't Be a Menace to South Central. After he just had sex with her, he was like, I'm pregnant. Like 2 seconds after they was done. Because that's how Jake is, man.
And it's funny because the little line of work I did when I did the movie for them Amalekites, none of them had children, man. Because I went in their bedroom and it was twin beds. Yeah, they're twin beds, right? So I'm like, oh, they got kids, and I'm like, nah, that's their beds, the husband and wife. So they don't even sleep in the same bed. You know what I mean? And I was like, damn, like I think I did 3 even my Amalekite houses, and none of them had children, man. But y'all supposed to be the God chosen people, so why wouldn't the Lord reproduce more of you?
Yeah, they have to try really hard to have kids. Like they actually have to do the whole rhythm method and find out when they're ovulating and do all the shit to have kids. Or Jake, you sneeze on a girl, she can be like, I'm pregnant, man. Don't let her be an Ephraimite.
They be looking for the cycles for one not to get pregnant.
Ezekiel 36 verse 10. And I will multiply men upon you, all the house of Israel, even all of it, and the city shall be inhabited, and the waste shall be built.
Right, he gonna multiply me right now. Check this out. In the in vitro fertilization IVF center at Tel Aviv Sourasky Medical Center is the largest and most innovative IVF centers in Israel. So what? They can't hold big like the brother was bringing out. They don't hold like they got the IVF centers like that because they don't hold a seed. They be losing the babies like that. So, but when the Lord said He will multiply men upon us, so when we come in there, hey man, it's gonna be like, like I said, the streets shall be like filled with children. We gonna go in there with like 144,000 or whatever, and Israel gonna be bigger because now they got the Greater Israeli Project where they got
They're trying to
the Golan Heights. Yeah. Like they took apart and how the fuck you going to? Yo, this is amazing. You go on the side of another man's land, cut that shit out and add it to your shit. I call it the Stolen Heights.
They're trying to fulfill the prophecy of what Abraham told that that the land that Abraham was supposed to get, that land of Israel is way bigger than what they got right now. So they're trying to fulfill that prophecy that the Lord told Abraham what the land of Israel was going to be. Because when that was actually fulfilled during the time of King David, that's why he was going around and setting up garrisons and all that, because the land of Israel is way bigger than what you see right now when you look at the land of Israel. That little slither piece, that's way bigger than that. So when they went in there, they only got that one piece, but you still got the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip, and then you even, land of Israel is even on the other side. It's far.
The 4 rivers.
It's big. It's a piece of it's all of Saudi Arabia. It's like all of that land south. It's a little bit of Iran that way. I believe if you go north, it's up there.
Syria?
Yeah, Syria. Yeah. It's way bigger than what these little pieces you guys got right now, man. And that's why they got the Greater Israel Project, because they're trying to fulfill that prophecy.
That's why I know they fulfill it, because you can't yourself fulfill the prophecy. The prophecy is fulfilled in you, yo. The prophecy is fulfilled in you. So like when a prophecy was fulfilled, they didn't say we're going to fit this prophecy so we can fit this prophecy. The prophecy, when it happened, that's when the prophecy being fulfilled. It wasn't like Abraham didn't do like, I'm about to fulfill the prophecy where I'm becoming the father of many nations now. Now, like it just happened naturally. They're trying to do it unnaturally. They're trying to do it artificially. Like, all right, we're going to fit this prophecy by doing this. You can't get that, my man.
And they're using Babylon. They're using Babylon the Great to do all these things,
Yeah.
man. How you gonna use America, Babylon, to get all your prophecies fulfilled? Like you're using if you're the chosen people, right? How are you using a place where the Lord said He's going to destroy the mother of harlots to fund you to get everything that you're
Right.
trying to get fulfilled, to fulfill the prophecies of the Lord?
And
That
you
would
have-
make no sense.
And you have Amalekites here. Why y'all over here? Y'all you got Amalekites that's over here right now.
By the boatload.
Yeah. Like, matter of fact, not here, but mostly, I think Brooklyn.
Yeah, they have
Brooklyn.
it in Brooklyn. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got them Amalekites. Y'all in a land that's going to be destroyed. But y'all supposed to be already delivered and in your own land. So you coming back to the other side of the earth? Because the Lord said, what? This land is not going to be inhabited no more when Israel's back in Israel. The nation of Israel is back in Israel. So y'all fitting prophecies, you're trying to fit prophecies while you're fitting the prophecies that make you look stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. Like, you can't be both. You can't be over here saying you want to live luxurious and profit here, and then you going back and forth to the land of Israel. The land of Israel, once we over there, we ain't coming back over here.
This is how big the land of Israel is supposed to be. Actual land of Israel. Man, they
Go through the spirit, that's heavy, man.
this is only they got that little right here. Yep.
Hey, send me that. I'm gonna do it. Nobody steal it. I'm gonna sit down on that.
That's how big the land of Israel is supposed to be. And they only got this little piece right over here. They only got this little piece right up there. But this whole thing is supposed to be the land of Israel, man. The Fertile Crescent.
Fertile Crescent, man. And that makes sense, though. That makes, like, if you know about Genesis, the 4 rivers,
Yeah.
actually see it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's heavy.
That's huge, man. That's
Huge. And that's why a lot of them artifacts they probably trying to find, they can't find it because it's in the actual another part that somebody else actually laying there. That's not gonna let you come over there and start digging up this.
And that's why they got that Greater Israel Project.
And Israel's surrounded by all these places, so that's why these nations going to be coming back and giving their treasures to us. They all around us.
Even just Saudi Arabia alone is huge. Yeah, Saudi Arabia, a part of Egypt, plus a part of that strip right there.
All
man.
right, get serious. It goes all even up to Turkey.
It makes sense because Church of Asia Minor, there wasn't no far travel, but it's all around the nation, land of Israel. You know what I
This
mean?
is bigger than any other land next to it. Like, imagine this was just said all of Israel. Look how small Iran looks, Turkey looks, Egypt looks, Sudan. They completely took over Yemen and all those other small countries over there.
We saw make the borders.
Huh?
We made the borders.
And the Lord
And
said us
spiritual,
up, that's gonna be
The
beautiful.
Lord had us around Goshen, and then we crossed the Gulf of Suez. So we really went through around this area. Of course, He didn't like give us this whole portion right here, but He had us going around the same area. But that's spiritual because, like, damn, that's a.
I heard that before that not even just the land of Israel, but the actual whole map of the earth is like kind of like finicky. You know what I mean? Like the way like the land looks, it's just finicky.
Yeah, that's why it says in the book of
And when the
Amos.
Luke dropped, the land expand even more, so it probably like expand more and become bigger.
That's why it says in the book of Amos, chapter, what was that, 9, verse 12. It says that, I started at 11, it says, and in that day I will raise up the tabernacle of David that is fallen, and close the breaches thereof, and I will raise up his ruins, and will build it as in the days of old. Because the tabernacle of David was who? During the King David, and that's what King David had. That landmass is what King David had. It says, and they may possess the remnant of Edom, and all the heathen which are called by my name, saith the Lord that doeth this. And that possession of Edom is not talking about the people, it's actually talking about the land. Because when you look at this, because Edom was south of Judah, this is right here is all Edom land right down here. All this is all Edom land over here before, in the ancient world, all this was Edom land. So that's why we're going to possess the remnant of Esau.
Man, that's heavy.
And y'all gonna have to build up this whole thing.
Once you get Luke,
Just get used to it. Let me see, you know what I mean? Get used to that because you don't have to build
Hey,
up this
there's a
whole
lot of
thing.
gold
man.
in Saudi Arabia too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yep.
Yeah,
The oil.
Yeah, Havilah, yeah.
The oils. Yep.
Cause like yo,
oil, yeah,
like the kingdom being built back up. Cause like brother said, like when the nukes hit it, it's gonna turn it into basically a desert a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that means you have to build it to where the bodies of water gonna be able to flourish. You gotta build up the streets of gold. Now y'all have to build all of that, and not just Esau, all you other nations, man. Because I be seeing all you Edomites in the other nations, everybody trying to be in the gym, everybody trying to work out. Well, y'all gonna get the workout of a lifetime in the kingdom. Because once you come back in the reincarnation, you gotta remember, we always say like, yo,
Some of
it's
them will
hard.
cross over.
Yeah, it's like,
On this side.
some of y'all gonna like, cause when we built this kingdom, well, you gotta remember Jacob was passing out, y'all beat us while we was working. So what you think is gonna happen to y'all? Here it is, yo, y'all gonna have no, yeah, it ain't gonna be no power tools, ain't gonna be no bulldozers, ain't gonna be no bobcats, demolition balls, ain't gonna be that. It's gonna be hand.
No union.
No,
We need better technology.
But then they said no labor. It ain't gonna be no labor union, but it's gonna be continual employment.
Yeah.
So it's like y'all gonna always like. You remember when we were like, yo, we talk about being idle and being bored. Well, ain't nobody gonna be bored because we gonna be having fun ruling, and y'all gonna be not bored getting ruled.
Like in Egypt.
Yep.
Because them Egyptians did that. They reduced the brick and stuff that we could use. They still said do the work.
You know,
They're gonna be.
it's real too. And you know how y'all get when y'all be in the sun too long. Ain't gonna be no what's this sunscreen lotions. Ain't gonna be no like tan and salon. Y'all gonna get the ultimate tan.
Y'all want it. Y'all women liberation. The women gonna be working too.
Hell yeah.
Right next to you.
Right. Harry.
I'm a girl, I'm a woman.
Yeah.
Yo, that sun
That shit
gonna
up.
cook their ass.
Got it. Isaiah chapter 60, verse 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahweh thy power, and to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day nor night, no coronavirus, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. And they go to that word force, it means the wealth. It says, and that their kings may be brought. And it goes to scripture tells you, as the king is, so shall be the people. It says, for the nation and the kingdom which shall not serve thee shall perish. Yeah, those nations shall be utterly wasted.
Right. So y'all don't want to get wasted.
Finish that 10. Have a good shot. What time? Let's
Ezekiel,
take it to 5. Yeah.
Ezekiel 36 and 10. And I will multiply men upon you, all the house of Israel, even all of it. And the city shall be inhabited, and the waste shall be builded. And I will multiply upon you man and beast.
See, Andy, so we gonna have cattle. Hey man, it's gonna like cow, goat. We gonna have it all, man. It's gonna just multiply. It's gonna flourish, man.
Brothers, we trying to find lamb legs
Yeah.
right now. We trying to find some salmon steak. Like, you don't got, ain't gonna be nothing to find nothing, man.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna be, yo, I went to ShopRite, ain't there. Nah, it's gonna be here.
What it said, everything you gonna have in abundance.
And
So,
the
like,
Lord is a God of abundance. See, Esau is a person of
capitalism.
yeah, he deals with shit on a minimum type scale, but the Lord deals with abundance. Be fruitful and multiply. You know, he deals with like abundance and having things in large quantities.
But Job wasn't a king, but Job had an abundance of things.
Oh, like I forgot if it was Josiah's Passover or one of the kings. Their daily, when you read their daily portion, it was going to like thousands of sheep, thousands of bullock, thousands of for just their daily portion.
That's how you know the land gotta get. That's how you know the land gonna get expanded. Ezekiel 36 and 11. And I will multiply upon you man and beast, and they shall increase and bring fruit. And I will settle you after your old estates, and will do better.
Oh, that the elder brought out, like how the tabernacles of David, how the land, the estates, the houses. He said, I will settle you after your old estates, man. You know, so hey man, you gotta kind of like, hey, the Lord said meditate on our precepts, because something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I can't imagine.
Yeah, you know,
they had
really
a-
this going into the kingdom. It's cursing out Amalek now. We're doing process of elimination by killing Amalek too on this prophecy. But also, this going into the kingdom. But finish that.
Esau the end of Jacob is gonna be that follows. Where's that?
Old
Old states.
States.
And will do better unto you than at your beginning. So it's gonna be better. And you shall know that I am the Lord.
Damn.
Yeah.
So how the hell is these guys? I will do better for you than at your beginning. Meaning, not even going to the beginning. Let's go to Solomon. You mean to tell me Amalek living better than King Solomon?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Bruh. Hey, they said Solomon's servants that the Queen of Sheba thought that was him because of how fly they were decked. And that's his servants.
That's crazy.
Don't let me type in what is the homeless population in Israel. I bet you they got
Yeah,
a
yeah,
high population over there, man.
Damn.
Ain't no Jake gonna be homeless in the kingdom of heaven, man.
I think it's one of the kings. I don't know if it's first king or second king, but it said that the kingdom of Solomon is going to endure forever, man. Because that goes back to it being Yahweh Shah, that spirit. Because
I would be greater for you than at your beginning. That's heavy,
in the beginning was lit, as the children say.
Hey, the Lord said it's gonna please Him to make us happy. You think about that. The Most High want to make Himself happy by making us happy.
It's not like he
Just
gonna
like
short.
your girl.
It's not like he gonna short himself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like a man with his woman. You know what I'm saying? We the Lord's woman. Like you know, Jake got shit or whatever. Really, you get a joy from. I mean, a chick that you know that's worth it. You know what I'm saying? You get a joy from buying her shit and doing shit for her, seeing her happy. You know what I'm saying? Like when we got holy days, I get a kick out of seeing God. I eat last or probably don't eat or eat tomorrow or some shit. I be drinking and shit, but get a kick and get a thrive out of brothers enjoying themselves, you know? So the Most High had that same mentality times 10 times 1,000.
And that's
It's on a level of a God, man.
And that's how you're supposed to think, because as the Lord said that when you be brotherly, it's like you're doing it to Him. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's supposed to motivate you to be more brotherly and be more charitable and be more any way you could be to be more further in the truth. Because that's really what it's about at the end of the day. It's not about how many precepts you know, about this, that, and the third. It's about how you treat each other, how you conduct yourself when you're not around each other. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're a reflection of Yahweh Shah and your brother and your constituents. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about. Oh,
I'm trying to cover a couple more of that.
all right, I'm Lord. Yea, I will cause men to walk upon you, even my people Israel, and they shall possess thee, and thou shalt be their inheritance, and thou shalt no more and henceforth bereave them of men. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because they say unto you, thou land devourest up men, and hast bereaved thy nations. Therefore thou shalt devour men no more, neither bereave thy nations any more, saith the Lord Yahweh.
So think as so-called Jewish people, you Amalek, you Edomite.
Hey, you know it too, man. You know the gig is up. The jig is up.
We wouldn't be out here if it wasn't. Like the Lord set this up. Oh, sorry.
I was gonna close it out.
Now, I was gonna say the Lord set it up through the Spirit and not through y'all. And I mean, we didn't know this was gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? This how it is. The Lord set up for it to be randomly just pop up, and the Spirit has been moving ever since.
Hey, you know, so with that, Lord willing, brothers and sisters edified, give all praise, honor, and glory to
Yahweh
Yahweh.
Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, HaKadosh.
All right, shalom to the house of David, man.
Yeah, they're partying on the love.
Wild, so
Yeah, you right.
you gonna get that.
I feel like this probably likes.